I'm Seph Smith, and I'm with Upstream BJJ, academy I'm about to be starting in Richmond, Virginia. I'm here in Paderborn, Germany with my buddy Eddie, and we're about to do a technique that I use. It's a triangle that I set up from X-guard. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out from the shin to shin position here, where this is a position I like to play a lot. A lot of times a guy will step his shin up when you're playing from a seated guard. And as soon as this leg comes up, I'm going to try to get tight around the person's leg. I'm going to fall to my side, block their knee, kind of draw his leg away from his body by staying in a ball, shoot my leg through, come back and square up with them, and then I get to my one leg X position. Now, if the guy stays down on one knee, which a lot of times they will, they block your ability to sweep them by twisting them over. So I'm going to grab the guy's knee, pull it in, and I'm going to get underneath of his leg and get this up onto my shoulder, okay? Once I get this up onto my shoulder, here, this sleeve is usually not too hard to find, so I'm going to look to gather this up, get hold of this sleeve, and get hold of his collar, okay? Once I get this control over their collar, I have control over their posture, and I can move them around a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll start to kind of move a little bit, and I get my hook underneath, okay? Sometimes this hook is hard to get underneath. It's not so hard on Eddie because he's tall, but it gets like people who are a little closer to my size. Sometimes getting this underneath is hard. So I'll start to kind of sit up a little bit. It gives me space to get my hook underneath. Now that I got my hook underneath, it's going to be like I'm kind of putting this into his ribs a little bit. I'm going to sit up here and making sure I have this pulled down so his hand's on the mat. If the guy doesn't have his hand on his mat, you can move them. Okay? So you got to be able to kind of move the guy around in this position here. Okay, but if I get the guy's hand on the mat, I take my other leg out, and then I pull him in as I shoot my hips up here. And I get to my triangle, and now I'm just going to start changing, getting to my shin, getting a perpendicular angle, and looking to finish my triangle. Okay? Sometimes, when you do this, so we go through the whole thing again, I get underneath, I get to my one leg X, I peel the knee in, I get here, get underneath, get his sleeve and get hold of his collar, and now I kind of move him a little bit to get my setup, okay? And when I go for my triangle, the guy may like duck his head, so then it's just omoplata, okay? Once I get the omoplata, I'll just use my legs to turn him, and I'll get up and make sure I get heavy on the guy's shoulder and low, and I can look to pass basic omoplata stuff, okay? But this is a technique that I use a lot, and if I can get into that setup position, then I catch it a lot because I don't think a lot of people are worried about triangles and omoplatas coming out of X-guard. They're really just worried about the sweep. So if they feel stable with their hand on the mat, then they're not too worried about the submission, and it can be pretty sneaky.